What is going on, all you profitable stylists out there and all you future profitable stylists out there? How do you craft a hyper local marketing strategy? This is what we're discussing today. Going through what you can do directly to affect your immediate surrounding market. It's a fun one. We do talk about this a lot, though. But it's still fascinating how everybody still has questions and still wants to go through. Yeah, throw the cup to them.
You wanted me to reach for my coffee. I don't reach. No, I wanted to look pampered on. Oh,
right.
It's cold here today. This is so warm. It's like in the mid 40s.
That's cold. It's in the mid 40s.
To us, it is. I mean, I had the heater on and everything. I love the topic today. I love the like say it one more time, because I think there's certain words in that topic I like more than others.
Where we're crafting a hyper local salon marketing strategy.
No, it was a local, hyper local. Yeah. I like the local part. You sure you didn't skip any words? I thought there was another word I liked. You having trouble reading?
Get my readers on. No, yes, crafting a hyperlocal salon marketing strategy. Yeah, no, I got it.
So what comes to mind for you right away? Anything specific?
I mean, just my favorite thing is to co-op with local businesses directly. If you're in a strip mall, to co-op with local businesses directly, your neighbors. If you're a solo, then you're in a studio space, then maybe you specialize in certain services that your other neighbors don't. So then I would co-op with them. So co-op is the first thing that comes to my mind. That is physically, immediately what you can do. Then you start networking and branching out. That's where you need some levels of social media comes into play. That's where fundraising or getting involved with your, what is that called? The Better Business Bureau, your local Chamber of Commerce.
Chamber of Commerce, yeah.
Chamber of Commerce, yeah. Getting involved with your community outreach programs, the fire department, the police, the hospital, the children's aftercare, daycare centers, anywhere where there is a lot of foot traffic coming in through the door, and these people need services. So I'm personally very big on restaurants. I say this all the time. The servers, the bartenders, the maitre d's, the people that check you in when you first get there, they are the first point of contact, and there is a lot of foot traffic that comes through that sees these people. And these people should, if they're doing their job correctly, be wanting to look presentable to the best of their ability,
I know that drives me crazy these days. The hair in public is not like it used to be, but I digress. But you're right. Yeah.
So servers at restaurants, all the support staff at the restaurants, I'm really, really big on that one, especially if it's a local one that's pretty darn close. Oh yeah, I'm all about that too. So that's some of the immediate reactions and thoughts that come to my mind when I'm talking about
It's funny you say, it's funny that I even complain about it, but you said something like they should have their hair done, and I complain about it. The positive side of that is that it's less than a few. Very few actually care about their hair being presentable at work these days. Too many bosses just don't care. They let it go. They don't mind. Too many girls can just put it up in a clip or a ponytail. But that's actually a good thing for us, as far as if we find the one or two that actually does their hair, they stand out. Now, you can literally stand out with nice hair because so many people don't have nice hair.
That's true.
Be careful in this minefield, okay? Oh, let me click my lights on off. Can you click the red button on that yellow thing? Thank you. They were blinding me earlier. That's good. Thank you. Woo! Look at me. My tan went away. I was getting blinded talking to RJ a little while ago, and I turned them off. But when you say all those local things, that is all great local things. But you know what? A lot of these, we're talking to a lot of age groups here. So that works it works for anybody.
But that works for anybody.
But the problem is, you got people that like or don't like certain ways of marketing. And I think, oh, he doesn't like my glasses on. They're reflecting too much. So, so
you are getting directed today. You have producer and director.
I feel like I got people, and I got the dogs here that are ready. They're like, did you say we're leaving? You took your glasses. But social media is where I'm going to go with this, because I'm kind of torn, right? I know that a lot of young people are going to be like, I don't want to really talk to people in real life. You're going to have to do their hair and talk to them in real life. But I get it. If you don't know them well, you don't want to talk to them yet. So you want to, Eddie, this is the first time you got more of a tan than I do on screen, but because my lights are so bright, I'm like washed out.
No,
but
I've shaded off all the lights above me. You should have seen how washed out I was.
So I'm torn. The reason why I'm torn is because I'm going to say the excuses on both sides, right? I'm not agreeing with these excuses, but the younger people are going to be like, I would rather use social media because I don't want to talk to people in RL, right? Or IRL, in real life. But then older people are going to be like, I don't know how to use technology. I don't know how to use that Facebook. And they should. So the young people should be talking to real people, and the old people should be using social media. And the ones in the middle are a little bit of both. And I would say that my journey recently, I teach it. First of all, if you want to learn more about how to use social media, even if you're young, because guys, I've been on it so much lately that I've been to some classes with these 20s and 30-year-olds who think they know social media, and then they pull up my profiles and they're like, oh, you have more friends than you have more followers than I do, because I am working it like a job now, and that's the only way I know how to do it, right? A lot of people do social media for fun. It just wasn't fun for me. I didn't get it. It's fun now because I have a purpose, and a few people that I've taught how to do it had a purpose. Like, just one example, which social media should I use? That just drove me crazy because so many of them popped up on the scene so fast, right? I mean, you had everything. I mean, are you still using MySpace? Kidding. But I mean, you know, it started with just a couple of little things like that. And then Facebook kind of limped along at first. And then all of a sudden there was everything that we have today, you know, social media, TikTok. A lot of people are still using Snapchat. And I mean, these are all just to communicate. Instagram, WhatsApp, YouTube are also forms of social media. And so people are using all these different ones. And then when somebody says you need to learn how to use social media to grow your business, you're like, should I start with LinkedIn? I mean, where do I start? There are so many of them. And that didn't help me at first, because I did try to do them all not so well at first, because I was told I should. And I kind of got one, but I almost got the second one, and then I totally didn't get the next two, but I went for it. And
I think because why it sounds overwhelming, each one of them is its own environment and its own ecosystem. There are little nuances and subtle differences that really do set them apart. At the same time, they sound all pretty similar, and they pretty much are trying to do the same effect as well too. And this is where it starts to become overwhelming. When we have these conversations with people, start off with two. The reason why I say start off with two, because there's the big daddy in the room, which is Facebook. And you should, by default, be on there, because at a minimum, if you're not paying for Google services and Google Analytics, and you don't have your own personal website, you can create a Facebook page for your business. And that could serve as a quasi website. And nowadays, with some companies, the way they do their social media marketing, they legitimately are going all in and using a Facebook page as their complete first touch point and website, both combined. The second app I strongly recommend is called Nextdoor. It is also a very big marketplace and very big social media outlet. The nice thing about that is you punch in your zip code when you sign up. You punch in your zip code, and it brings you down geographically directly to your neighborhood and where you exactly within. I think it's within a 5 or 10 mile radius of your address and your zip code.
Well, it depends. I was an admin on our Nextdoor app. I was in a neighborhood that I became the president of the homeowner association, and somebody started asking me about Nextdoor. What are you laughing at?
HOA? You were an HOA-er?
Yeah.
Evil HOA?
The funny thing is, right, I
can't see you as an HOA person.
I know. I hate the rules of a neighborhood. I was blowing my driveway, and a guy just stopped and said, "Hey, I'm Frank. What's your name?" I'm like, "Hi, Frank." And he goes, "I'm the president of the homeowner association." I said, "Oh, really?" I said, "I didn't even know we had one." And so by the end of the conversation, I asked a few questions. He said a few things, and then he said, I was like, "When is the next meeting?" He goes, "Well, it's actually tonight. We'd love to have you." I was like, "I'll be there." And then so immediately I got on the board. I mean, it was a sucker. I was a sucker. They sucked me right in, and they're like, "We need somebody to do property management." I'm like, "What does that mean?"
It means you get a golf cart and you run around with a clipboard citing people. That's what that means.
It was the job that most people hate HOAs for. I had to go drive around and make sure there were no boats in the front yard. There were no fences made of the wrong material. There were no piles of dirt in your front yard for too long, and I'd have to report you. And I was like, this is the stuff I hate the most I'm actually doing. But from that, Nextdoor came along, and they were like, I noticed on the Nextdoor app, you could possibly be an admin of your neighborhood. You would check off all the houses that they didn't have in their register. They'd tell you, "Look, we are in touch with these houses, but these are not. What would you like to do? Send them a postcard?" I was like, "Sure." The app sends a postcard, and you can be in control of that. Then they said, "Do the lines accurately represent your neighborhood?" And I looked, and I was like, "No, they don't. They got 3 other neighborhoods in here." Because at first they would just do a mile radius and call it whatever neighborhood's in the middle. And so as it got more populated, I drew the line around our actual neighborhood. It ticked off the other neighborhoods. They're like, "Hey, you were never in our neighborhood, buddy. You have your own neighborhood. Start your own next door situation, and we'll be neighborhood friends, neighborhood to neighborhood." But
I'm going to send you the sheriff's star so you could put it on your shirt.
This is the rule. Yeah. So basically, though, I got very familiar with Nextdoor, and it works just like Facebook. I mean, it was so much like Facebook. I was impressed. But you're right. When you said 2, I was thinking, no, just Facebook's plenty. But Nextdoor is a neighborhood app that is very localized. A lot of people started jumping off when they went to a few too many ads. It got ad heavy. And I don't know if you can get rid of that, but so has Facebook. But let me just pitch Facebook for just a minute, because I think some people that are watching this are thinking that they need to use their favorite or the only one they know how to use. The reason to use Facebook over all the others is, number one, it is the biggest with the most people and the most activity all day, every day. The statistics show it. It is the biggest. There's the most people there. And I would say number 2 would be, it probably is a little bit older crowd, but you know what? It's the people that can afford to come to you to get their hair done, no matter if you're an older or a younger stylist. So they have money. They can afford to do it. That's why they're on Facebook, because it started way back when, and they went through their tough times. Now they have money. But number 3, it grows locally, different than every other social media. Nextdoor, I guess, is similar because it's dealing with neighborhoods. I totally forgot about that one. I'm glad you brought it up. But Facebook grows, and I'm going to differentiate. This is where I was going to go earlier when you started bringing some more stuff in, and it's probably rightly so, because now it's going to make more sense. You were starting to say a second one. I was going to be like, no, because Facebook's local. It grows by friends of friends of friends. But I think the big differentiator here is that you talked about a page, and I think a lot of people don't understand the difference. And I want to talk about how to use your personal profile, a Facebook page, and a Facebook group separately. Not to mention, there's a few other things going on within Facebook that you need to pay attention to. So I want to bring that.
Before
Go ahead.
you start that, Bernard, too, this comment is correct. It's not just whatever you feel comfortable with. Like, you may personally just like Instagram, or you just may personally like something else. Where is the clientele that you are trying to attract? If you are just trying to have some fun and doing hair is your hobby, then do whatever you want. But if you're here watching this, then you're trying to become, you either are profitable and you're trying to become more profitable, or you've been doing pretty good and now you're trying to get better, you know, or you're just starting off and you're trying to get good from the beginning, from the start. Your clientele, this is where they are. This is why this conversation matters. So, yeah.
That's a good point. Don't you know you're supposed to keep talking until I'm done chewing?
Oh, I didn't realize. I thought you were. My bad. So then when you're going to talk about the page, when you're going to talk about a group, or when you're going to talk about personal profile, you have three choices. You got three options. And this is, we take it over to you, Bernard, out there in the field.
So this was the one that, till this day, I'll mix up the words sometimes and I'll say your personal page. No, it's a personal profile. I mean, and the names have changed even within Facebook over the years. But, you know, Facebook started off where it was just one place to house who you were. If you started a business, you just started another one of those things and it was your business, and it worked exactly the same. But Facebook watched people promote businesses within Facebook, and they thought, we should separate this. We should separate this and make business pages separate from. So what happens is people became influencers, or famous people would have to start a personal page instead of a personal profile, because there's pluses and minuses on each side of what we're talking about. And then of course the groups will come in later. But on a personal profile, you can only have 5,000 friends. Now, something has changed recently, but what they would used to say is if you had 5,000 friends, that was it. Well, a lot of businesses will have more than 5,000 people interested in their business. So when you had a business page, it was unlimited, and you don't friend request a business page, although you used to. When it turned into a page, you like or follow pages and groups, right? And so the personal profile, according to Facebook, and I guess I should say public etiquette, think about it. It's personal. It's a profile. It's supposed to be about you and your personal life for the most part. And so what I'm going to talk about is how to hack the personal profile to help you in your financial business, how to make money through your personal profile. Not saying you shouldn't have a page. Like you said, a page should still be had for your business, but it has different advantages and disadvantages. I was talking to a friend just this morning, and he called me last night, actually, and I called him back this morning to finish up this conversation. But he said, Bernard, I need a little help with Facebook. I have been doing this little class. I said, yeah. He's a queen breeder, honeybees. You make queens and you can sell them. So he's trying to sell queens. And he said, I made this website a couple months ago, and I got a lady helping me with it, but nobody can find it. I can't even find it myself. If I do a search, it's just not there. I'm doing all the things trying to get the search in the SEO right, the search engine optimization. I said, right. It takes at least 3 months, at least. And that's if you're doing everything right and aggressively. It might take you 4, 5, 6 months of activity. I said, I told you this when you created the website. He said, I need to create a website so I can get sales. I said, Facebook's going to get you more sales than a website is. And he said, well, I'm going to be an official business, so I need a website, right? I said, I don't think so, but yes.
Eventually, it's an eventuality. It used to be the thing. You had to have a website.
That was the thing. Right. Right. So that was the first like public saying who you are as a business, that anybody anywhere could type in a little bit about you and see what you are. It's not bad to have a website, and you can make it yourself. But when you have a website, there's no way to promote that website easily. When you have a Facebook page, you can boost a post. I mean, and some of these other social medias, you can do this too, but you can pay. Now, I'm going to talk about all the free ways to hack the two systems between the profile and the page and make it work better for you. But at some point, you can pay at any point. You can pay on the page. You can have one like, one follower, one friend, whatever you want to call it, on your business Facebook page, because you're Bernard Ori, the personal person, family man. But then I'm going to be Bernard Does Hair, and that's going to be my business page. Well, what do I do with that page? I can open it today, and I can have 500 friends in my personal profile. I got over 5,000 because I've been working the system, because at 5,000, it kind of turns into it morphs and kind of hybrid is a personal profile and a page together. So when I get 5,000 friends, I can't get any more friends. I have to delete some, but I can get likes and followers. So people will follow me and want to see what I do as a bit of an influencer. That's kind of the goal. But on the on the business page, I can have one friend, nobody else, and I can pay to boost a post if I wanted to pay $5, $10, $15, $20. And I can choose a button that says, show this to just my friends, not my friends, or friends of friends, or or 1,000 people in a 5-mile radius, or 10,000 or 100,000 in a 10. So I can choose the geographical location, the amount of people, men or women, age group. I can choose a target audience and have people see my post on Facebook in a business page. You can't do that on a personal profile. So that's where I'm saying, like, one has advantages the others don't have. But here's the biggest advantage that I talk about hacking the system. When you start a personal profile, people will if I say, oh, I know Eddie, I see him on there. It says friend request Eddie. And then you go into Facebook, if you happen to look, and it says Bernard asking you to be his friend. Do you accept or decline? That seems harsh to decline. He just wants to be my friend. For some reason, we are so quick to accept friends. Like, sure, I don't mind seeing what he's doing with his life. I don't mind him seeing what I'm doing with my life. We were friends in high school or whatever, And so we love friends. We love having friends. We love being friends with people. But think about how you feel when I do this. Now, on the Bernard Does Hair side, this is the business page, pseudo website. And I say, and you get a little notification that says, Bernard's asking you to like his business page. What is your first feeling? You feel like, ooh, he's trying to sell me something. He wants me to come to get my hair done. They want to make money off of me. They want me to
selling me. What are you selling?
What are you selling me? Yeah. I feel that most people do. So this is kind of how you work these two together. When you start your business page, the first thing that they ask you is, how do you want to populate this page? Would you like to invite some of your friends from your personal profile to jump on over here? And you're like, sure, I need people follow my business page. So you do it. And it's like, who would you like to invite? Check off these little boxes. Invite multiple at a time. Yeah. Invite everybody. Yeah. The problem is some of you guys only have 100 friends, 150 friends, 200 friends. So do you kind of get what I'm talking about here with all the little things going on? You need to, on your personal profile, be friend requesting the people that would potentially be your clients in the future right now, and do it every day and try to grow your friends. Because then when you go over to the business side, and this is what Eddie did last night. He goes, how do I know it worked? He said, I said, you don't know if it worked, because what he did is he goes into the business page and you click on friends. And then it says, invite friends. Yes, I want to invite friends. And then it says, would you just like to switch over to your personal profile? And he said, why would I want to switch to my personal profile? I said, do it, Eddie. Yes, you want to. That's where your freaking friends are. And so he said, it made me switch from one to the other. I'm in this one trying to do something, but it made me switch. Right. It knows what's going on. It's trying to help you.
Trying to guide you. Yeah.
It's trying to guide. So he said, okay. So I hit switch, and he goes, and now it says, invite friends. Like I can check off boxes, or there's one blue section at the top right that says invite 1,000 friends. I said, congratulations, Eddie. You've been doing the system like I've been teaching you. You've been friend requesting, and lucky for you, you have a few thousand friends, so it can bring 1,000 over it. That's the most it does. I said, I was with our friend, the doctor, the other day, and I was teaching him how to do it. And when we tried to get his business page to like or to bring friends over from his personal, you know what it said? all the same steps. We got there, and it says, would you like to invite multiple friends from the personal to the, yes, we would like to. And it says, invite 3 friends. 3 was the max he could bring over because he only had like 170 friends, and he had not been posting on both often enough. So Facebook's saying, I don't think your friends are going to like your business because there's no comments or mutual communication. You're not working either one of them. So it's judging you by your activity, your communication, your engagement. And so Eddie, I said, Eddie, that's like a badge. That's like a badge of honor. When it says, would you like to bring over 1,000? First, you have enough to do that. You've been doing the right thing. You've been posting in both. You've been answering the questions in both. You got some people following you in both. Now it's like, I think Eddie's friends would like what Eddie does as a business. And so he's purposely friend requesting beekeepers and people that buy from other bee organizations around the country, because they're the ones that are also going to want queens. So for hairdressers, I mean, you have to take your target audience. If you're a barber and you're just cutting men's hair, well, then you're just going to be friend requesting men, lots of men, because that's your target audience and customers you're going to want in the future. If you're a stylist that focuses on color or highlights, or you think styling women's hair is more profitable than doing men's cuts, don't even friend request men, especially if you're a pretty girl and you're just tired of men hitting on you just because you friend requested them. You don't even want to do their hair. And you can delete and get rid of friends too. You can unfriend people and they never know you did it. It's not a problem. So just start friend requesting every day people that look like the hair you'd like to do, or that are friends of friends of friends. And so that's the magic in Facebook. It automatically will start to notice what you're friend requesting, and it will recommend. For me, I friend request stylists across the country, mostly because that's who's going to buy hair extension hair. That's who I'm helping become more profitable. That's who I'm coaching. That's who I'm teaching extensions to, hair replacement to. So as I friend stylists, Facebook shows me 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10. When I'm scrolling across, their name is like so-and-so stylist or owner of so-and-so salon. I can see it in the background behind them, their brand. If their hair looks like they're a hairdresser, if they are a hairdresser but don't look like a hairdresser, I don't even friend request them, because I'm thinking you're not, I'm getting to the point where I'm picky. I got 5,000 friends now. So now I'm doing the opposite. Every few weeks it says, you can't have any friends, Bernard, unable to friend request because you're maxed out. Would you like to manage your friends? I'm like, I wish I could, but yeah, I'll do what kind of management you think. I don't think it's the same kind of management I'm thinking, but how do we manage them? I click that button and it says, would you like to delete some friends? And then it gives you categories. How about the first category is least interacted with your content? Yes, I want to get rid of those. They don't care about me. Why did they even accept my friend request? But maybe my content's not what they're looking for. Maybe they don't like me. We don't care. Maybe they're not on Facebook. So I go over there and it doesn't let you do a lot. It says select multiple. I'm like, oh, is it going to give me 1,000? No, it doesn't. It just lets you check off boxes. So about every week or two, I get rid of 25 friends. So I count 1, 2, 3, 4. I go to 25 and then I hit unfriend all. I unfriend 25 random people that aren't communicating with my content. And then I friend request through these forums I'm in, and any hairdressers that are commenting on my stuff. I'm like, oh, they like the stuff I'm posting. So let me friend request them. And I friend request 30 or 40 in the next few days. And as they start accepting the friend request, and I try to do it again in a few days, it'll stop me again and say, you can't have any more friends. So now I am managing my friends at the highest level that I possibly can within Facebook's parameters, all within a personal profile. And then I do all the pages and groups separately, but I thought I might let you talk for a little bit first.
You just want another cracker is what you want.
Need that, some coffee.
All right, then I'm going to switch gears a little bit.
Okay.
One thing for doing things in person, in IRL, okay, when you go out there. If you don't like, I'll stay on topic, but I'm going to switch gears a little bit. So you're still the type of the person who doesn't like interacting personally in real life with people face to face. of what you can do, as an example, find yourself the closest dermatology office that you have, and also find yourself the closest trichologist who is not doing hair anymore. Those two, a dermatologist and a trichologist. The reason why: a dermatologist is covering the overall health of the skin. A trichologist is uh, hyper focusing on the scalp and on the hair. Okay.
Less on the hair, more on the scalp.
And more on the scalp for the overall health of the scalp, which by default, then, the hair will get better by, as a side effect,
I would add a med spa to that list.
Med spa, that's actually great too. Good, get in with the med spas. This is called equivalent exchange. What happens is you have something to offer them, they have something to offer you. Mm-hmm. So they are working with people who need services. A med spa is dealing with people who want to beautify themselves, so their external features matters to them. A trichologist is dealing with people who are suffering from hair loss or have some irregularity in their scalp, and it's affecting their hair, some kind of alopecia, some kind of something, whether it's a temporary towards a permanent issue. A dermatologist is dealing with overall skin issues. Why this all matters: a dermatologist, as an example, medicated this client. The medication that she had to be was a heavy dosage of acne medication. It really dried out her skin, which in turn dried out her scalp, which in turn made her scalp tighter, which in turn started messing with her hair. It started thinning out because the pores were getting choked out and the hair shaft couldn't grow out nice and full and thick. Mm-hmm. So come into the salon, we start doing scalp treatments, we start doing head spa treatments, we start doing multiple things to soften the skin on her scalp area. It allows her hair shaft to grow back thicker and fuller again. Instant fix, no problem. Okay. The trichologist is putting these clients on a specific nutritional diet and a specific maintenance program for their scalp, which in turn, now their hair is growing faster and fuller and thicker than what they were used to. And now they need help styling their hair. The med spa is giving the clients Botox. It's giving the clients lifts. It's giving the clients elective surgeries in some situations and scenarios. Well, if that person is doing all this work to make their face look good, naturally they want their hair to match and have that look good as well too. So that's the equivalent exchange in services. Now, this is how you get in. You offer more to them than what you are asking them in return. All you're asking them to do is leave your business cards there with some kind of special offer for a consultation, and only a consultation, no other guarantee. For every consult that comes in, you will offer whatever you can afford, 10%, 20%, 30%, 50% free, whatever you can afford, what you think is worth getting new business in the door, that's the offer that you leave for them. So now client comes in to their place of business. They're having a conversation with them. They will be apt to recommend and refer you. Plus you have this sweet deal. The client is going to be like, you know what? Let me go check it out. I ain't got nothing to lose. The exchange to you is all you do is stack their cards and you refer your clients back to them. They may or may not need to or want to or have to offer some kind of deal either. And that's okay, fine. You're just talking about them, so it's free advertising for them.
If you can do their hair for free.
And that too. The point is exactly. You are giving them more than what you are asking them to do for you back in return. Yeah. They're going to be oh so happy and more willing to work with you. And that's another flow of referrals without you having to do the personal talking and interacting with people that you don't like to do.
Well, the part that's hard is they don't want to walk in and make that deal at all. That's the difficult part. But
Well,
let
and
me,
then on social media, it's just as hard as to click a couple of buttons to say, "Hey, be my friend." It's easier said. You can do this. I have faith in all of you. You
it's
could do
easier to
this.
do this than it is to
Well, you
do
only
that.
have to do it with one person once. You only, start off with one office in your area.
Well, you when you were mentioning all that, I was reminded of we did it before social media existed. So I had a few that worked out really well. One for me was a tattoo artist.
Hey, okay.
I mean, I don't have any tattoos, so I didn't understand it. Casper, you need to lay down and calm down. So I never had tattoos, didn't get it, but one of my stylists did. Lay down, boy. Lay down. Lay down.
Yeah,
And
tattoo
so,
people love tattoos, and the people who love tattoos love to do crazy stuff, crazy
well, they
hairstyles.
just love stuff about their body. So for me, I was
Yeah,
promoting hair extensions, right? And so they cared about their image is what was important to
yeah,
me.
sure.
To them, tattoos improve their image. I don't know that everybody always agrees with it, but each person that's getting a tattoo feels like they're improving their
That
image for
person.
some reason, right?
Mhm.
And then the same thing with tanning businesses. I know tanning's a little more out of style. I love a tan. I think a lot of people still do, but it's people that care about their appearance, like you said, right? So as you're tanning, and that's why med spas are a good one. Now, a little higher level one that I worked with for a long time and still do is an actual plastic surgeon. And so they're a little bit, they hide their, they don't like to give referrals quite as much. But for me, it was a plastic surgeon that puts hair on people's heads, right? It
Okay.
was more of a transplant surgeon. It's a lady, and she would have ladies come in. Guys are a lot easier to do transplants on, but ladies would, they want thick hair. They don't just want some hair. And a lot of times they don't have enough, even the guys, they don't have enough donor hair to move to the top and spread out to make it look like they want. So she'd recommend them to me because I do cosmetic and we add hair. We don't just move around what they already have. So it was a win-win because I'd get consultations that would come in and say, "Oh, no, I thought y'all did surgery." They saw our marketing. I'd send them to Nicole. Nicole sends the ones to me that are like, "I can't afford what you're doing." Or she says, "You're not a good candidate. You should see Bernard. He can help you." So we send customers back and forth and it works really well. So what I wanted to I wanted to bring it back to Facebook a little bit because I've been doing this deep dive on Facebook, and it's you do need that page, but you then have to think of it differently. So I think a lot of people think I'm going to make a post. I'm dealing with a hairdresser in my own salon right now. I literally went downstairs. I hope he's watching this, and I'm going to tell him to watch it later. But I went down. I'm like, so I'll try not to use a name so that I can be really harsh. And I was like, "Hey, what you doing?" "Just waiting for people to call or show up." I said, "Well, what are you doing actively to build your business?" "Well, I post." "How often?" "Not as much as I was." I was like, "Well, how often?" "I mean, about once a week, or I mean, I can't post about my family." I'm like, "Why did you even say that just now?" "Well, because you said we have to do the 5 things. You know, you should be posting about your family and your faith." And I said, "Okay, yeah. You don't have to do exactly what I say. You just have to do something." And I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, my family, I don't know. They're private. They're private." I said, "Okay. So how often are you posting about work?" About once a week. I don't want to post too much." I said, "Well, don't worry. Once a week is not too much. You, I mean, is your business blowing up from the once a week?"
Because you only have one client a week, you only post once a week,
I don't know. I'm just like, he's been to a couple of my Facebook classes, doesn't get it. So to me, I don't get what people don't get. As a matter of fact, I think a little bit of it is my friend Eddie with the bee business. He's like, "I'm posting almost about every day." I said, "Okay, this is what you need to do. I'm going to just lay it out real quick on your personal profile and your business page. The exact same video. You make a video of you doing whatever with your bees. Now, if you can make the video better, more entertaining, have a hook, well, that's wonderful. Most hairdressers do a good job of making videos to put them on TikTok for fun. Just use them on Facebook too. And so if you're already on TikTok or Instagram, stay there. Add Facebook to your money-making plan. And I'm going to say you should be posting at least once a day. Now, it can be a lot of different things, but let's say do this. The when you post and how you post is important. And I don't even mean a certain time of day. I just mean consistently. If it's once a week, it's fine. Be very consistent. 3 times a week, once a day. But when you post, you should be posting on your personal profile as a basic post. But then you need to post that same video to your story and that same video to your reel. And then you need to go to your page and post to all 3 places: story, reel, and regular post. Some people just scroll stories and they disappear in 24 hours. Reels stay around a little bit longer, but some people just scroll reels. They love the format of a reel. And then some people do this way and just scroll basic posts. And so it's either they're this or they're that or they're this. And so you have to be where the people might be. Only in Facebook, you're already having to post how many times? 6 different places and times. So why even do another social media is what I say. It takes me a little while because I got multiple pages and groups and a personal profile. So if you're posting those 6 times, that's the start of it. Now, you can't just do like old-fashioned marketing and advertising where, and I think this is where people get it. They pay to put an ad in the phone book, the newspaper, the radio, the TV, and then they just wait and they look at the phone and they hope it rings. Well, the difference in social media is people they don't think it's a live, moving stuff, interactive. They don't interact. So there is no interaction. They just put it out there. They boost a post. They pay for an advertisement. They put their phone number there and they wait for the calls. But we have a much smarter world now, a much more inquisitive, maybe they're like, I want to use the word sketchy, but that's not the word. They're just more careful and a little more scared that they're going to get taken advantage of. So why not do what they can do? They ask questions, they communicate. And so they ask questions on your post and you don't answer. They'll say, so how much does this cost? Is this even real? Is it 100% human hair? What are your days open? People are saying stuff like, looks great. That's beautiful. Not even questions. And so you think, well, they're not asking questions, I don't need to answer. Then when they ask
a comment and you're just going, oh, okay, it's just a comment, Yeah,
just a comment. So what I'm saying is you need to answer every comment. And I got that from Jude Grayson. I didn't know that either at first because I came from the old world. You put it out there and then just hope for results, But people want to communicate with you. Just imagine social media is like a dinner party and there's people out there. And if somebody says, well, that's a beautiful hairstyle, you just say nothing? That's so stupid. That's what we're doing on social media. You're stupid for saying nothing. I mean, I've been stupid for saying nothing. I was just like, oh, that's nice. Look, they said that what I do. They like my dogs. They like my turtle. Oh, that's cool, and they're saying it. Why wouldn't I answer back?
So question for you, because YouTube will do this where if you get a comment and you go to reply to the comment, it'll even offer you a couple of 5 pre-made AI replies. Does Facebook do that or something similar to that?
I don't use that. I don't know. I did list a generator for sale this morning that I had since Katrina, and AI said, can we AI generate your whole description of it? I was like, sure. Even recommended a price. So there's a lot of AI going on, and
because the reason why I'm bringing it up is some people are just awkward, and if they're new to this and they don't know what to say or how to reply or what to do, you know what? Before Arnold gets activated and takes over the world, the rise of the machine.
Yeah, I don't know, but you're right. You should use ChatGPT.
Use the technology while you got it, to your advantage.
Well, I agree. And so my point is just make it a rule in your head. Post daily or weekly or 3 times a week or whatever you decide there, but make it consistent. Make it a job. You know what? If you make it a job, you won't love it as much. It won't be as fun because it's going to grow your business. It's part of work. I don't want to get up and go to work in the morning either, right? So I don't want to answer 10 people every day, but that is what's going to bring the money in. I couldn't pay for an ad and still might not get an answer. And so the funny thing about social media is people pay for ads and then don't answer. So
do you realize with ad copy, somebody has to see it and interact with it in some way, shape, or form, whether they watch it, comment, like it, follow it, save it for later. They have to interact 7 times before they even remember to actually purchase or do the
or
thing
trust.
that the thing is asking them to do.
It's building trust. It's building it up in their head. They're building up their nerve. They're like, oh, if you've been around that much and that many times, maybe you are real. Maybe you are telling the truth. Maybe you're not just a fly by night con artist, scam artist, right? So it does take a bunch of times. So posting 3 times on your page, 3 times on your profile by posting story and reel. Eddie goes, you don't think that's too much? You're going to see the same thing a bunch of times? I said, some of them aren't going to see it at all because Facebook's only showing about 2 or 3% of your whole group of people that say they like you anyway. They're not even showing them all your stuff because they've got hundreds or thousands of friends that are also posting. And so it's just trying to show them a small percentage of everybody's stuff, the things that they interact with. That's how you drive the interaction up. You answer every single comment. Even if it's not a question, you still respond. When they say, beautiful, love your turtles, that's some cool beehives, I'd be so scared. Say something back. Make it a conversation like you're at a real dinner party and somebody said, I love bees. I do too. Why do you have bees? I mean, you would ask that. So do it in the comment. Do you have bees? Why do you like bees? Did you have them growing up? Do you have them now? I love that hairstyle you did. Yeah. And you'll start going back. At some point they say, can you do that on me? There's the money. Cha-ching, but here's another little insight about posting on your personal profile. This one is a pet peeve of mine. Do not do this. I have openings today at 2 and 4 and 1 at 3 tomorrow. Really? Oh, thank God. I'll be able to fit in those 3 spots you have open.
So yeah, the problem with that is it's called spilling the candy. You just throwing everything out there. Now the person has no reason to interact anymore. They see all the possibilities and all the options, and either that matters, that fits for them, that works, or it doesn't. So there's too much of an opportunity for them to just scroll on and not come back around to it. So you get no interaction. Posting consistently and posting the content matters. I love that you said earlier too, you got to decide what you're posting, the content that you're posting, is it for fun? Is it for likes? Does it have some kind of curiosity built in for somebody to interact? Are you actually asking somebody to interact? If you're just posting for the sake of posting, that's one thing. You're keeping your page busy, or you're keeping your profile busy. But if you're actually spending an extra minute to think about what it is and the reason why you're posting that and what it is that you want out of that, that's the difference between a regular post that just keeps your business busy and keeps you busy. And that's what's frustrating and not fun, because you're like, it's Tuesday, I have to post. Oh, it's Thursday, I have to post. Versus, hey, you know what? It's Thursday. What is going on today? What can I do that I want to have happen? I have some openings this afternoon, right? What if I posted something that said something like, hey, on Thursday, I'm going to try this, and I have an open house between this time and this time. Or I'm looking for somebody to help me, in the afternoon. You don't say specifically what time. You just say, I'm looking for somebody to help me in the afternoon with a couple of service ideas that I'm kind of brewing over here. DM me. And now somebody's going to look at that and be like, wait, what ideas? What are you trying to do? Oh, of course. Oh, yeah. People
I love that.
To help. Now they're going to want to interact with you. Now you're like, well, I have availability between 1 and 3. Can you find 30-minute, whatever your appointment time is, 45 minutes, an hour, can you find some time to come in? I want to try to do this. I'm trying to learn this technique. I just learned I went to a class recently. I'm trying to do this. Right. I just want to practice this. I want to do this, whatever it is. It's way different than I got openings at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Please somebody come get your haircut.
Please fill the spot. I enjoy this topic so much. I was like, is that clock really say 10:53? Wow.
We're at top of the hour.
So let me say one more thing about the personal profile, because you got to grow and post in that personal profile. And a lot of people don't know what to post. Let me tell you what you should use as a skeleton format and what you should not post. Hairdressers specifically Do not say what times you have open and what times you're trying to fill and leave it open. And the best example for that is when Jude said, when you see, I always think of like walking through the vegetable section in a grocery store. Jude's like, yeah, you see a friend in the grocery store and they're like, hey, Bernard, how you doing? You just saw each other for the first time, like on social media. And you say, I've got 2 and 4 open tomorrow. What? What, you freaking weirdo? I mean, that's what you look like on social media. You look like a freaking weirdo. Nobody gives a shit about your 2 and 4 tomorrow. Stop saying it. Make just a public service announcement for all hairdressers out there that tell their 2 spots they have open today and tomorrow. Just stop it already, okay? So, sorry, I got a little passionate there.
And don't put your prices up on there either. Have somebody call and ask for the price, because when you say when they look at the price, immediately they're like, I can't afford that, it's too much, or I don't, whatever it is. Somebody's
you're too cheap, so you must not be good. There's always some negative.
It's an uninformed decision. When somebody calls and says, how much is this? And you say it's this price, and they go, ooh,
goodbye.
And then you could go, well, what about, if we do this instead? You can work with somebody.
Let's talk about an alternative to what I said not to do, because I think that's where people are going to be like, well, then what do? I want to grow my business, right? So I'm going to give you, God, I hope I can remember the 5. I used to use the 5 Fs, and it was 5 F words to remember where and how to post. God, RJ, you might have to,
yeah.
You might have to help me. So these are the things you do post about. And then we're going to talk about what to do instead of 2 and 4 open tomorrow. It was family, friends, faith, finances, and fun, hobbies. I got them. That's the 5. So what I thought was, if you post at least 5 times a week, take the weekend off, lazy. No, if you're going to post, if you're going to post 5 times in a row, you can do it every 5 days. You don't have to take the weekend off for you workaholics. But if you're going to do it, maybe you shouldn't be posting all about work. Maybe it is too much. Maybe you shouldn't be posting all about your dinners, because that's just boring if it's the same thing over and over. Some people don't want to know that, you don't want to feel like you're only posting about work. Now, you can get away with it with some little tricks, and I'll talk to you about that in a minute. But when you're first trying to be a balanced human being, it probably is good to balance your life anyway. And if you post about all 5 of those areas, it's going to help you remember that you should be doing all of these and not just work and fill in 2 and 4 tomorrow, right? So what else do you do in life? So what do you do? Do you go to church? Do you have a particular belief system that you'd like to talk about? Maybe it's just yoga, and you talk about how spiritual you are and how it refreshes you and you get your rest or your reawakening or whatever it does for you. Post about that once during the week. And then maybe about your hobby, your fun. What do you do for fun? And so as you're going through all of these things, you're more well-rounded. Something about your family, whether it's your spouse or your kids or your parents, that's where the stylist here was like, I can't post about my family. They're real private. I'm like, well, dude, there was 4 other things. You could skip the freaking family and just do the 4, But when you get to the finances, the business, the one that makes you money, the one that you need to remember about that. And this is where Jude really helped me. I would not be good at this. I would just be just as stupid as the thing I just made fun of earlier, because I would just say, I need to make money. Come get a service done by me. That's all I'm thinking is, what are your goals, Bernard? To make money so I can pay my bills, so I can provide for my family. No, you can't. That can't be your goal. That is my goal. My goal is to survive. I don't know what you mean when you say, what are your goals? And so where Jude helped me with this was for you analytical people like me that can just think of what the actual job is. And I wasn't as artistic and didn't think of it as emotionally. That's exactly what I needed to bring into the system, emotion. He said, so when you post about work on your personal profile, you should never talk about the times you have open, the hours that you need business. What you should be talking about is the emotions that happen at work. I'm like, well, I don't cry. He's like, not that kind of emotion, stupid. He just, when you flat iron I was like, okay, I got it. Yes. When I shampoo and dry hair real flat and smooth with a flat iron, I am better than most stylists. When I see it, I'm like, I understand the pressure, the heat, the movement, the cooling in place, or curling with a round brush, how the blow dryer blows the heat. I can get passionate about that. So if you just talk about that, look how smooth I got this hair. Oh my God, she is so in love with it. I'm in love with it. Look how good it looks. And you show some pictures. It's not, look what I did. Do you want to get this done too? That'll be $49.99, and I have openings tomorrow at 2 and 4. Forget the money side of it. Just remember the passionate side of it and the beauty of it, and show people and love your work. If you love your work, then people are like, I want that. I want that too. Me, sir. And they'll ask you, wait, what did you do? You just describe the service you're doing and you love to do, and show the outcome or the before. And you don't even have to do a before and after.
Yeah,
you can just show the after. Just show how beautiful it is, how nice it is. If you do a before and after, sure, it could be a little more dramatic effect. But if you just love what you do and you show it, people will want to be involved with that. They're just going to want to come. They'll ask you, how did you do it? They might even ask you cost, and you're like, oh, I try not to talk about money on my personal profile. I'll private message you, and then the communication about making the money starts. How much does it cost? Well, let's do a consultation. What do you want? I don't know what it costs. Depends on what you want, come on in. Consultation is free. So
recap the 5 F words again. That's what you got asked.
Are you kidding me? I'm not going to remember them.
It says, what else? You talk too fast. So family.
Rewind the video.
Rewind the video and play it in slow motion at 0.25 speed. So you got family. You got fun, you got finances, you got faith, and you got friends. Those are your 5 Fs.
Good for you. Thank God, because I always forget one. Today it was a rare occasion. Faith, family.
I know you were so excited that you remembered.
Yeah, I was like, don't ask me to say it again. You messing with me.
All right. So then, in good form and good practice for what we are saying ourselves here, what is the interaction you want from this video? What do you want? What is the goal, purpose? What do you want to have happen from people watching this?
Yeah. I would love for you guys to comment telling me what your plan is. I would love for people to comment and say, I'm going to commit, make it public. I'm going to commit to posting however, once a year.
Baby steps.
Once a month, once a week. I mean, God, make it at least once a month. I mean, once a week should be minimum, really. But once a week is where I would start. And it should be videos over pictures. But just if you're going to post something, it could be just freaking words. If you would just start posting once a week, once a day would be great. Every other day would be great. Tell me what your plan is. Come on, Stella. I see you in here. Tell us what you're going to do. How often are you going to commit to posting? I'll be checking.
And we'll be watching. So then I need you guys to subscribe back to us, so then you guys could be watching us, and we'll keep each other as in check.
Yeah, right. Be accountable. Yeah.
All right, everybody. Go have fun this week. Be profitable. Make some money. Thank you for watching. We'll catch you next week.